it's Ryder from the KQ Morning Show. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. Thanks for using the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast to get through your holiday season. Sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. New episodes fire up Monday, January 6th.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
If you're walking around town and you're like, is that guy staring at my feet? The answer is, yeah, it probably is. There's a bunch of foot freaks out there. Foot fetish is a very real thing. And you don't have to be Quentin Tarantino to know the allure. You do realize there's always like foot stuff in his movies. He's got a real foot thing going on.
Especially Uma.
It was Brad Pitt at one of those award shows outed him right here.
I want to thank my co-stars, Leo, Margot Robbie's feet, Margaret Qualley's feet, Dakota Fanning's feet. Seriously, Quentin has separated more women from their shoes than the TSA.
Oh, that's funny.
I did not even know that it happened, and I had no idea you had access to that clip. Well played. Yeah. But check this out. There's a car wash in Arizona that just had to arrest a gentleman there because my man, Jesse Johnson, great name for a foot fetishist. He's 28 years old. He has a special way to get an uninterrupted, an unabridged, perfectly clear view of women's feet. He goes to the car wash, and then as a woman is vacuuming their own vehicle, he climbs under their car. He crawls under their car, and he'll remain there for several minutes just staring at the feet. Now these are feet who are, I would imagine, 9 times out of 10, shoed or clogged or sandaled. Right. They're not open wide. No one's barefoot at the car wash. That said, doesn't really matter to him. He goes under the woman's car and just stares, and then when they're done vacuuming, he'll slip back out and pretend he's working on his own car right next door, or he's cleaning a tire or something. But several women caught him in the act. And then they go in and they look at the surveillance cameras, and sure enough, a woman would pull up, get out of her car. She'd be vacuuming her own car, and dude on the other side of her car would climb under. I mean, a lot of cars, it's not easy to roll up under a car, is it?
No, it's not, and it sounds like a good way to get run over, especially if they catch you under there. Can you get out in time? Because the woman I know would just get in and put her in reverse and slam on it. This is a little bit of the news, very little bit, and then one of the victims.
If another customer at the car wash didn't notice and then track her down to tell her.
I have felt very violated, and I have been having nightmares. The victims had flip-flops and shorts on. That's what we all had in common.
Well, yeah, you wanted to see her feet.
The flip-flop, huh?
Nothing wrong with checking out a foot. I mean, I like an attractive woman's foot. I don't know that it's a foot fetish. I don't go all the way, but I do like to check it out. But this guy has been arrested in Nebraska, other states for doing this, and he's kind of a toucher. He's licked and touched.
Okay, that's an entirely different. Okay. Observing and admiring a foot as it walks past you in just downtown traffic, that's one thing. That's a sidewalk. But climbing under a car to get a straight up view, no, thank you. If the car is put into reverse and drags your ass across the parking lot, I think you got what was coming your way.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be easier just to hang out at DSW?
You would think, go sell women's shoes.
Right. What a dream.
And the sandal department. Now, Ryder, when women try on sandals, do they try on sandals and that kind of stuff? The open
I don't know. I think you're asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
No, they give you
Tony,
those.
Well, Doc Martin poster child over there, what does she know about sandals?
They give you those little nylon socks that you put on. So it is definitely see-through.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It might be good until he goes all Al Bundy and then just hates women from putting shoes on their feet.
I realized I just said a terribly irresponsible thing. I was like, dude, go sell women's shoes. No, actually don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to subject women to now every guy that's helping you with shoes. Oh my God. What does this possibly mean? It's bad enough that you're under a car and you're looking. The idea of reaching out and touching, now that will give you some nightmares because that goes right back to childhood when someone says there's a monster under your bed and if you put your foot on the floor it'll grab your foot. We've all have that, but boy, if I'm at the car wash and someone grabs my foot, I'm leaping. I'm clearing a 9-foot high jump bar. Yeah, that's the last place you expect a hand to come out of your own vehicle.
I mean, unless it was an attractive woman. I'd be like, look at you.
She was
underneath
so
the car.
attractive
My
until
car.
I stomped her face upon landing. Damn, too bad for that.
Oh, I'm just remembering now. Many years ago, a friend of mine, a teenage daughter, came home. He calls me up. He's like, dude, what would you do about this? And I'm like, why are you not at the shoe store? And he went down there, and they go, oh, yeah, we already fired him. His teenage daughter comes home and says, I'm trying on shoes, and the guy would take off the shoe and put my foot on his crotch while he grabbed another shoe to put it on. It was just like he was resting it there. And then he was kind of like rubbing my foot I was like, dude, I'll meet you there. I did not meet him there, but he fired out to the mall that day that it happened. And they said, oh, no, we've already let him go.
Oh,
It's like, let him
weird.
go. He should be, in jail.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem there. But, I mean, the foot, I don't like that it's podophilia. Podophilia? It's a little close, isn't it?
Pedophilia?
No,
No, it's called podophilia.
Okay.
Podiatrist, a foot doctor.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's a little close to pedophilia,
Yeah, no, that's
You've
get a
been
new
diagnosed
word.
with podophilia. He said podophilia.
Podo. He's a podo.
He's a podo.
Weird.
Whereas I would have thought, if you said,
Yeah.
oh, that guy's a podo, I would have thought, oh, he just likes potting plants.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind.
According to a study out of the University of Bologna in Italy, Bologna, it's the number one fetish in the world. Foot fetish.
Really?
According to a global survey.
Wow.
Yeah, people dig the feet. I'll tell you what, I like a nice foot. And so I remember being in a relationship with a gal, and she had this beautiful foot, and I would rub her feet all the time. And then I made the mistake of telling her, I really love your feet. And then it was like weird. Well, now it's weird. She wouldn't let me get onto the foot thing anymore.
Really? I dated a dude who was into feet and loved giving me foot rubs, and I just milked it. I was
Right?
like, bring it on.
Good foot rub, yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's foot rubs and then there's foot rubs. It all comes back to
Well,
Tarantino.
turns out she had a busting my balls fetish. If you've ever had that.
That's weird because I dated a girl who had a brushing my balls fetish, and that's a whole different thing. That's a conversation for another day. But
Nice
yeah,
soft
man,
bristles.
She's amazing. I never knew brushes could be made so soft. I think it was actually, what was it? It was the hair of an ibex from the Tibetan mountainside.
Well, that's the only way
made
to
up
go.
that brush, and it was just so. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I mean, it turned me into a rat 20 times a day.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I guess technically Zepp and I are Gen Xers. Tony, you're just on the other side of the boomer line.
I'm on the cusp.
But I always feel like I'm more of a boomer just because I was raised in a much older family with older siblings. But that's neither here nor there. Let me ask you this. Gen X guys, anytime you talk to them and when people get polls going, absolutely say we have the best music. Any generation, it's ours. The 4 best Gen X dad rock bands, because we're now dad rock to the younger guys. You look at a millennial, they look at us like, yeah, whatever, dad rock. The big 4, loudwire.com says these are the big 4 for Gen X rock fans. Tell me what you think. Aerosmith, AC/DC, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses.
Can't argue it.
Yeah. tough to argue
I
with
know. What's the last time we had one of these where you went, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
mean-
That's it. That clicks all the boxes.
I might pull one out and put another one in, but I can't argue this, and that sounds pretty good to me. I'll take it. Aerosmith, AC/DC, Van Halen, and GNR. Yeah.
I have spent a whole lot of time with Aerosmith and AC/DC in my life. A lot of time with Van Halen, and a pretty good amount with Guns N' Roses. Only because with Guns N' Roses, the Appetite all day long. The Illusion records I was hot and cold with, and I literally never listened to much after that. Van Halen, though, a lot. AC/DC and Aerosmith, my God, I mean, countless hours.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to. But then let's go back a little bit. They did a big 4 for Boomer dad rock: Beatles, Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Stones. Now, if you remove the Eagles from that list and put in, for me personally, going back, because I love the Beatles, I love Led Zeppelin, I love the Rolling Stones. Eagles, I like the Eagles. I don't love the Eagles. I saw that list and I thought, for me personally, bands from that era, I could put in the Faces, I could put in Free. I could go a little later in the game and put in Tom Petty. But Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and the Stones to me are sort of givens. I don't know how you get any of those off the boomer list. Who am I forgetting? If you want to replace the Eagles, because if you like me want to replace the Eagles, who do you go with?
The
I think
Who.
it's got to be ABBA. I mean, The Who.
You know what?
I sneezed. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, maybe The Who. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
To that response, I'll say, oh, yeah, duh. Yeah,
I know, but
obviously The Who.
I know, but I want an American band on there. I'm a homer, I want one on there and the Eagles just on album sales alone, and longevity, and
Sure.
they reinvented themselves like Led Zeppelin. They played around with different styles, and I guess the Beatles did as well, and maybe even the Stones. But I'm comfortable with that. Here's what it is: Boomers, Gen Xer bands. One just led into the. I wouldn't say that Aerosmith, AC/DC are better than the Eagles and Led Zeppelin, but I would say they complemented them. They were part of that evolution of rock. It was only till we got to the millennials that we were let down, that it became something absurd and
Down.
whiny. And look at this, AC/DC, party, right? Led Zeppelin, party on. Nirvana. I'm not going to kill myself today. I'll wait until tomorrow. Sing me through it. Just a lot of whiner rock in the 90s, which, by the way, bought me plenty of Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Foo Fighters. I've seen in concert many, many times. Love me some 90s rock, but it is whiner rock, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was. They were sitting around going, "Well, what terrain hasn't been covered?" And they're listening to all their favorite records from childhood. And they're like, there's not a lot of whining in the original rock record. Not
Right.
Yeah, let's see what happens with that. And boy, did that take off like a
Self-loathing, feeling
like
sorry for ourselves. They nailed it, yeah.
just like it was like Mount St. Helens erupted, and it was called grunge and washed us over with whining ash. Bastards.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I do know this. Chad Daniels is in the studio with us. Chad Daniels, a very funny man who is now, go ahead, I'll say it because he won't, the king of Netflix. Good morning, sir.
You're right. I will not say that.
I'm reading this, the new special, Empty Nester, 600 billion streams in a month. Congratulations.
I had no idea. Thank you for reading those numbers.
I don't have my glasses on. It was something like that. But it's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
The Netflix special, that's Netflix. That's kind of where comedians go now. I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Over the years, as media changes so drastically, it used to be like you wanted to get on an HBO special or a Comedy Central special, and now it just seems like everything I watch comedian-wise that I like is on Netflix.
Yeah, people want to go there because of the algorithm.
Yeah.
It really puts it out in front of new eyeballs.
It's great.
But now Hulu's starting up.
Okay.
And Amazon Prime obviously is.
Nothing wrong with healthy competition. It's good for you.
Absolutely right, yeah.
There is a moment on Empty Nester. You're talking a lot about being a dad, and we were laughing about it before you came in. Well, your definition of, or the goal, if you want to be a good dad, simply be better than your dad.
Oh, man.
Funny, because it's true for all of us, whether we admit it or not. That's all we're trying to do is beat the old man.
The prince has to become the king. We got one guy to beat, and my dad made it really easy.
Yeah, you and me both. We're in the same club. All I got to do is show up and not leave.
Yeah, that's exactly
You know
right.
what I mean?
All I had to do was not learn my son's social security number because my dad stole my identity. So that's all I had to do.
Okay. Well, we'll take a left turn with you here real quick. How old were you when that happened?
I think I was in middle school at the time. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, I found out I was going to get a car loan, and the guy goes, "You owe a woman named Karen Ward $40,000 in child support."
Oh, my
And I
God.
was like, well, that's my mom, so I don't know how that works.
Holy.
Yeah.
Mom's
Okay.
calling in the markers.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
I'm gonna go ahead and recalibrate myself. Okay, so my dad was just kind of a hard ass. No identity theft involved, so never mind. So it wasn't quite as easy to top as maybe yours was. That's incredible. And you've clearly processed it, and it's all okay now.
Well, he's a good dude otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? Taught me how to shoot baskets, taught me how to throw a ball, did all the dad stuff.
Sure.
But just stole my identity. Maybe he was like, listen, I've earned it. I played catcher and wide receiver. I have earned it.
Wow. Man, so how many kids do you have now, and what are their ages?
I have 2 kids. My son's 25 years old, just got married, and my daughter is 20, about to go to Costa Rica to study for her junior year of college.
Wow. Very, very nice. Hence the title Empty Nester for your special.
They're gone.
It's a bit of an adjustment. As my wife and I are learning, we still have one in college, but she's still tethered very closely. But, she's not living with us, but there's a lot of calls, there's a lot of texts, there's a lot of just like another $50. So you could say we're empty nesters, but it doesn't really feel official yet.
Well, I do what I like to do when my daughter calls me for money. It's $25 for every 10 minutes you stay on the phone.
Wow.
So if you need $100 for something, you better buckle up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, living and learning. That's what we're doing here.
I will make you. I will make you be a good daughter. She is a good daughter, but she came home from school and she goes, "I'm so excited. I'm going to Costa Rica, and don't worry, you don't have to pay for tuition because I got such good grades." And I was like,
"Oh,
well, I'm still going to have to pay ransom, so I don't know how that works because you're going to be in a foreign country."
Yeah, that's right.
And you're immediately drink a lot.
You're hearing Costa Rica, and you're like, "Wait, is that tsetse flies? Is that malaria? What do they got going on down there?"
I think Costa Rica is probably one of the best ones, right?
It is.
No military, none of that nonsense.
Those freaking howler monkeys. That's what I remember down there. There's a mating season for howler monkeys. Guess why they named them howler monkeys? Whew, that's terrifying.
Yeah, probably not what you want to hear in the middle of the night.
They're screamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how long is she down for a whole school year? One semester?
One semester. First semester. She'll be back for Christmas.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, you'll always be. Do you still have her location on your phone? Does that map thing? Yeah, there you go.
Both of them, both the kids.
Yeah, right on.
But my son requested mine. I
Oh,
think
really?
It's because we have a lake cabin up north, and I think he wants to know when I'm not going to be there.
Well, that's way better than just asking you directly.
Yeah.
Let me just slide in, see when that happens. Chad Daniels is in the studio with us. Empty Nester on Netflix has been streaming for the last, little mid-July it hit. So you're a Minnesota native.
Yep.
Have you ever moved away or Minnesota guy your whole life?
Minnesota guy my whole life. Lived down here for a little bit, started comedy at Acme Comedy Company with Lewis Lee, and then moved back up to Fergus Falls.
Okay.
That's where I grew up, raised the kids up there, and then when they left, moved back down here.
Right. That all checks out. And you are in a relationship. Are you? You're not married to, but Kelsey, your girlfriend, who's also a comedian, Kelsey Cook. Yep. She made, if memory serves, she made the move to Minnesota.
Yeah, she did, from Washington State.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, good. Winter and more taxes." I love it.
Nice. A lot of common ground there. Dating, now living with a comedian. But is there anything unexpected? I'm not asking for bits. I'm asking you genuinely. Yeah. Is there a moment when you or she or both of you just go, "Oh yeah, I should have seen this coming"? Like 2 comedians in a room, I would imagine it's really, really fun, and then maybe sometimes not.
Yeah, well, it's still a relationship.
Yeah,
so we're
right.
Like, oh man, I didn't know 90% of this was going to be actual conversations.
Yeah, right.
We were going to be goofing around a lot more.
Yeah, right. But that's going well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you are you said, I asked, you're on the road pretty soon, but you're not here. But you said you're here in March. You're here every March. That's like a standard thing. Is that what you were saying?
It's my birthday the first weekend of March, or the first week of March, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I play Acme, but I played the Fitzgerald to record this last March.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all ringing a bell now. I'm remembering that. That's probably what we talked about last time we saw you. And so how long is it? What is this, an hour? Empty Nester?
Yep.
And what's to get that hour into a place where you feel ready and you're going to shoot it and you feel good about it? Is that a year? Is that 8 months? Is that 2 years? What generally?
It probably took me, about a year, I think, because I recorded 2 specials in one night in Madison, December of 22.
Okay.
and then did this one in March of 24.
I know it's not like you just wake up one day and say, I need all new material. It's all kind of in the back of your head, if not on the page yet, or however that works. But, it's at the same time, you do 2 specials at once. You knock these things out. And then all that's left then I would imagine it's almost like then you're looking at the Grand Canyon going, and now I got to fill that again.
Yeah, right.
I mean, is there a bit of that feeling of it's got to be daunting? Like, I just spent all this time to get all this material, and now I need new material.
Yeah, but it was great because my son was moving on to his marriage.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was going to school, and I started a new relationship. So I just bought a new notebook, and I was like, here we go.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah. And like anything, I mean, okay, when you first started comedy, how old were you?
23.
23. How long did it take you to get 10 minutes you knew was solid?
Till I was 27. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it took a while.
But it's a while.
Yeah.
But like anything, I mean, in creativity, if you're producing any type of art, it's just like dribbling a basketball. The more you do it, the better you get. The more efficient you get, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know that you can get better ideas, but your discernment as far as this is worth pursuing, that's not, that has to get really sharp.
Yeah, and when you're starting off, you have that 10 minutes that works,
Yeah.
and you want to hold on to it.
Right.
Because you don't want to, I don't want to look at the dead eyes in the audience anymore trying a new bit. So you do that 10 minutes forever and ever.
Right.
And now when I hear my own joke so many times, I'm like, listen, we got to get this on an album because this is bothering me.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it does. You have a thought and you go, that's for Kelsey. That's for me to tell her and we laugh about.
Right.
Or this is for the stage.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Sure. So let's go back. Early days. Is there one horrific bomb of all bomb nights you can remember? Like, what's the worst night of your comedy life on stage?
I hope you're listening, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Yeah, there we go.
I was at a hotel, and they had, a bar in the hotel.
Yeah.
They shut the Packer game off. You've heard everybody has this story. They shut the preseason football game off. People didn't know there was going to be comedy. That kind of stuff.
Right away.
It's Saturday night. I go up. I'm opening. It is silence for 25 minutes. I'm doing 30. I mean, they just wouldn't laugh. And so finally I go, I know you guys didn't like me, but the reason that they brought me in is because Time Magazine has printed an article that said I have the one of the top 10 closers in America, which is not true.
Of course not.
But I just tell them that, and I go, all I need, 2 shots of Jack Daniels and 2 Rolling Rock beers for my closer. And I go, who wants to do that? Who's going to bring me up 2 Rolling Rocks and 2 shots of Jack Daniels? Oh, wow. Finally, this gigantic lumberjack man brought all 4 drinks in one hand. And I go, all right, here we go. So he sits him down on the stool, and I go, who wants to see it? And a couple people start clapping. I go, that's not enough. Time Magazine said. Everybody starts cheering. I do the 2 shots, hold up the beers, and I go, thank you guys so much. And then I run back to my room.
Nice.
I was just like,
hell yeah.
I'm getting drunk. This is miserable.
Oh, that is fantastic.
It was such a bomb. It was,
yeah. I had a night in 1987. My band played the basement of a Chinese restaurant in Greensboro, North Carolina. And the deal we got ahead of time was we'll feed you, and then if anyone comes, we'll give you some of the door. And it was free Chinese food. We'll do that.
Absolutely.
We'll drive 2 hours out of our way. And we played, and it was a dank little basement, and one guy came in. And he walked in, he paid $2 at the door, and he said, you guys know any Coug? John Cougar. You know any Coug? And we said, nope. And he turned right around and walked out. But he left his $2, and we got Chinese food and $1.
Nice.
And we said, well, we'll just stop. And the woman said, no, I fed you. You're playing. We played to no one. It was just a rehearsal. It was great.
I've done that before where you go to a bowling alley to do a show.
Oh, man.
And they go, well, no one's here, but we paid you. So for the employees, there have been times where I've handed out CD. I've been like, hey, like early on, can you guys just listen to this on the way home? So I don't have to actually. It's the same stuff.
Great. That's awesome. If we go out to the Waxwood right now, we'll go to a bowling alley, no warm up, pick a ball off the rack at the place. What are you going to throw?
160.
Nice. That's nice. I like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that'll work. You still ever go and get heated up and flirt with 200? Feel pretty good about it?
Yeah, you get close sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? You got turkey hunting.
Right.
Yeah, that's a bowling term.
It certainly is. Chad Daniels is in studio with us. First concert you ever saw? What was it?
It was No Doubt, Goo Goo Dolls, and Bush. At the
Wow. I don't have
Fargo
to ask
Dome.
you what era you come from.
Yeah, that's right. I was 21 at my first concert. I didn't go to
Oh, no
concerts.
kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
And so we were drinking Bacardi Limon, and then what we would do is we'd dump out a half of a 2-liter of Mountain Dew, and we'd pour in strawberry schnapps, and then we would drink Bacardi Limon from the bottle, and then we would chase it with Mountain Dew strawberry schnapps. And I was up front, and we're close to the front of the stage, and I'm jumping up and down. And I go, oh no, I had too much. So I'm tapping the guys on the shoulder in front of me. I go, hey, you gotta let me go to the rail. I gotta puke. And they go, we've heard that before, buddy. And I go, I'm telling you, dude, I gotta puke.
Man.
And they won't let me go, and I just let it rip. And
Yeah, you
so
did.
everybody had strawberry-colored jeans. And then so the bouncer pulls me out over the thing, walks me to the back of the Fargo Dome, gets me out, and I go, hey, man, just so you know, I asked them if I could get up to the front.
Yeah, right.
And he goes, I heard you. Here's the deal. Wait out here for 5 minutes, then check the door and see if it's open. And so he kicks me out of the Fargo Dome, but then left the door ajar for me to get back in. So I had to sneak back through all the back hallways and get back into the concert. It was awesome.
Good guy.
Wow, that's as good a gig story as I've heard in a while.
Yeah,
and
and
yes, the fact that you did give them fair warning, go ahead and puke on their shoes. I don't care.
Well, listen, I wish I wouldn't have had to.
Yeah,
but
no, I
I
know.
did just, anytime I smelled puke, I'd move farther away so I didn't get beat up.
Yeah. That's way better than going, how was it? And your answer's, oh, it was cool. It was good. We had fun. That's a much better story.
Yeah, we sat in seats the whole show.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I explain my concerts now. How was it? I got up twice to dance.
Yeah. It was a lot like watching it on TV at home, but louder. Yeah, that's it. Chad Daniels in studio. The special Empty Nester is on Netflix, streaming now. And go ahead and mark it first week of March at Acme for the birthday shows.
right.
It is a pleasure to see you again, sir.
Yeah, good to see you.
You're welcome here anytime.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
The theory is there is one thing you can do that can help to make you more creative, more productive, and even a little more focused at work. And that is taking small doses of LSD.
Well, now see,
Okay.
again, we're back to the military. Didn't they introduce this to us, LSD? They were experimenting on soldiers
Right,
back in
just
the day
didn't
with
tell you.
LSD.
I do believe so,
Yeah, all right.
The military, the CIA, all the cool people
Yeah, right.
were tripping balls in the 50s.
Long before we were.
I love the story that the guy who invented it accidentally dosed himself.
Yeah.
The Swiss chemist had he had a few days in the lab unlike any other.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think I would fare well on the air on LSD. I think if I were doing this show, even with a little bit of LSD, I would think I was doing great. I know that much.
Yeah.
I would feel more creative, more productive, and yes, more focused. I would be real afraid to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, I have recorded myself talking while under the influence of LSD.
Oh, there you go.
Because I have a lot of great ideas, is what I would tell myself. Man, I connected a lot of secrets of the universe and literally getting to the crux of why am I the way I am and what can I do to become a more productive, efficient, and better member of society. And then I listened when I finally remembered to do that later, and it was just what you would call mumbledy-gook.
Right.
This is all you heard.
That's brilliant.
You know what it was? You know what it really was? It was a lot of, and it was in the thing, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Sounds like segment. Well, next time, bring it on the show. Don't hog it for yourself.
It was like
man.
bursts of laughter, like lightning that you don't expect. You're just mumbling, yeah. That's me on acid.
The old shows where they get you drunk on the air to, was a drinking and driving thing. A highway patrolman would come in and say, "This is why." Yeah, right. I've done that as well. I think we need to evolve it into the microdosing. We need to do some acid on the air.
If it's 4KQ, I can take the hit. I'll do it.
Science.
I can literally and figuratively take the hit.
Nice.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
The story of a lobster roll eating competition, dead or alive, or both, as was the case. This is happening up in New Hampshire over the weekend. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu on hand watching yes again, lobster roll eating competition. And Chris Sununu, he's been the governor up there since 2016. He had to spring into action when something went horribly awry. Here is the governor of New Hampshire explaining what went down.
The gentleman at the far end, who I was kind of watching, he took a pause. He was having trouble getting something down. I started saying, he's joking, and I could tell people weren't responding. So I just moved forward and immediately started to kind of give him the Heimlich. He went right back to the contest, which I couldn't believe. He ate another 7 lobster rolls after that, right down the gullet.
My counter came up to me and made a joke and was like, "Oh, I bet nobody else can say that they've gotten a Heimlich from the governor before." I looked at him and was just like, that was the governor?
That was the governor?
7 lobster rolls after being Heimlicked back into life from the governor of the state. That is an American hero. Not the governor, the man who went back for 7 more lobster rolls.
The New Englander, yeah. Yeah, they are good. I shovel them down constantly when I'm in Minneapolis. But the governor gave the guy 4 or 5 compressions. What is work out? Do a few push-ups, Gov. What do you got there? I mean, is that really? You couldn't dislodge it after 4 or 5? I guess it must have really been in there.
Oh, that kid was working hard. That thing was stuck down that gullet, as we heard. Anybody here ever had the Heimlich performed on them or performed the Heimlich on anybody else? I never have.
No.
Not sexually?
Well, that works. I mean, it's a wide. I'm casting a wide net here. What do you got?
Sure. I mean, we've done a little role playing. That's fine.
Okay.
I choke. She gives me the Heimlich. It's kind of fun.
Oh, the sexy nurse.
Yeah, all the way.
Man, I've seen it happen. I actually watched my brother give a woman a Heimlich at a restaurant. She was choking on a little salad pickle, a little gherkin, and it flew out of her mouth with an alarming alacrity. I mean, it went across the room. Whew, for real. It was like a movie scene. Fantastic. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to always remember to chew a lot. Don't want to be in that situation. If water goes down the wrong pipe, I think it's the end. I'm like, I go right to Sanford, Elizabeth, and then if you put a lobster roll stuck in my throat, that's panic, man, sheer panic. And if the governor saves me, I'm not going for 7 more lobster rolls. That's just me.
Well, it was a lobster roll eating contest. Where's your competitive nature? You're a competitive guy.
I am. I think, but I'm thinking if I beat the Grim Reaper, that's enough competition for the day. That's just me.
All right, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can here.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Right now, there is a Minnesota showdown happening, and I don't mean 4 people at a 4-way stop all trying to wait each other out. I'm saying that the coolest thing made in Minnesota is an actual contest you can vote on. The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce is pitting products against each other. What is the coolest thing produced in this state? We're down to the Sweet 16. And oddly enough, Post-it notes are not included in the final 16.
No.
That's surprising.
3M does have Scotch tape involved, but, I mean, Scotch tape, everybody makes Scotch tape. Those first Post-it notes, I mean, I was a kid and I thought those things were cool.
That's because they are cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. They certainly
absolutely
are. And when they came out with a second color, not just yellow, come on, man. That blew my hair back. That's how it was exciting.
It was fun to Post-it note your friend's car, you know. Do you guys ever do that? Just Post-it note it? No, the entire car from front to back. The whole thing. Covered completely in Post-it notes. I don't know if anyone has it on their phone. Guys, text it to me if you still have that one on there. This was pre-phone days, but we did it. And I mean, there wasn't a
millimeter of that car that was available to the naked, or of that car available to the eye. It was all one big Post-it note. Unfortunately, we did a fair amount of littering when he went speeding down the street.
I was curious. Did you just drive them off, or did you have to then pull and pull and pull? So I guess I got the answer to that one. The top showdown in the Sweet 16 is that Scotch tape from 3M versus Spam. I would have thought those are finalists, but no. Here was 16 to go. That's one of the brackets right now. You have to flip a coin between Spam and Scotch tape. Ryder, what are you taking?
I mean, I'm going with the Spam because I, like you, don't think Scotch tape is that cool.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Tony, do you have a Spam or Scotch tape thought on this?
Scotch tape isn't as good between two slices of Wonder Bread.
That's a very good point. Very, very good point. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Who's on the horn, Tony?
Our buddy John wants to talk Minnesota made.
John, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Christian Brothers hockey sticks.
Say it again.
Christian Brothers hockey sticks.
Christian Brothers hockey sticks.
Yeah. All right.
War Road, Minnesota.
And War Road.
Wow, War Road. All right, even I know where that is. Holy smokes. You're saying that's a fine product.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever held one of those sticks in your hands and just whack somebody with it?
One year, I actually got 4 of them for Christmas.
Okay. But I mean, have you ever put a hurting on somebody? You ever slashed somebody with one of those sticks?
Oh, of course you have.
Yeah, okay. All right, just making sure. Making sure. Appreciate the call, John. We'll add that to the list. Thank you very much. On the KQ Talking text line, here's one from Jim, who happens to be Ryder's dad. Best Minnesota product, hands down, is American Crystal Sugar. Having it on my lefse for breakfast, washing it down with grape Kool-Aid made with, that's right, American Crystal Sugar.
Okay, in the 41 years that I have been my dad's daughter, 0 times has he brought up this love for American Crystal Sugar.
And
so
now
I'm a little bit surprised. The Lefse thing checks out.
And now twice in one text. That's pretty impressive. We do have a text echoing something Zepp said earlier, Tonka Trucks. How does Tonka Trucks not make the final 16? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. What about the mall? Wasn't the mall invented here?
Yes.
The first mall. That's right. It was.
Water skis.
Yeah. 1919 root beer. That's a text from a listener. Wow.
All right.
Okay. Fair enough. A lot of great things here produced in Minnesota. What about Heggie's Pizza? Yeah. Sure.
Love me some Heggies.
Yeah.
When this first came out, I think Brewpub Lots of Matzo was on there and got bumped off already. So I'm kind of salty.
Wow. My first weekend as a Minnesotan, I had Heggies for the first time. I mean, I hadn't even been here a full week, and I was introduced to the magic that is.
It is legit.
Is there another call, Tony, or no?
No, they are gone.
They were just bitching.
Actually, they were just telling tales about 3M inventions.
Oh, really?
Pretty involved, yes.
There was a look of concern on Tony's face. I thought he was either that or somebody was begging you to call 911.
No, Paulie filled me with info.
Also on the text line, the Bunt Cake Pan. Is that a Minnesota?
Oh, that's true,
Really?
yes.
Oh,
the Bunt
yeah.
Cake Pan.
You know, hey, good on you, Minnesota, but my least favorite of all Mom's cakes. Felt like she was just getting a little lazy, kind of spongy. Not my favorite. Yeah.
You say bunt cake, and I go right to like a beanbag chair and a bead doorway thing. It's 70s to me. I think about a lava lamp. My sister was big on the bunt cakes when I was a little kid, and she had like friends, and they wore mini skirts and listened to like Pink Floyd records and made bunt cakes. It's all just a mishmash in my brain. Kind of exciting and kind of titillating and kind of confusing too, all at the same time.
What in the hell? I did some Googling here. You know, I don't keep these facts in my head. I don't have that computer brain of yours, Steve. But Tony, invented in Stillwater by Charles Strite, the toaster. The modern toaster as we know it now, the 2 pop-up toaster. First showed up in Scotland, toasting it on each side, but you had to flip it and do the whole thing. The modern toaster invented in Stillwater.
That is right. You know, we mentioned that once on the show last year, and I'm embarrassed that I forgot. How do you beat the toaster? I know one thing that you could say probably beats the toaster, and again, somehow, amazingly not in your final 16. Nerf.
Nerf.
The Nerf. Invented by ex-Viking kicker Fred Cox.
Yeah. Wow. Phenomenal. Probably no one invention that impacted my childhood life more than the Nerf, because we came of age, right? I mean, that was given to us. Yep. That was our Gen X. We were the Nerf generation, and everything Nerf. Yeah.
Man, that's tough to beat right there. Who's on the horn now, Tony?
Dan has some info on another Minnesota-made product.
Dan, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Great. Dan, give me your favorite band, first things first.
Oh, the Scorpions.
All right. Favorite team, any sport?
Anybody who beats up on the Vikings, how's that?
Oh, boy.
All right. I get it.
All right.
Bitter.
All right, Dan. So what product is, what's your Minnesota product?
The Hostess Donuts.
Really?
Hostess?
Yeah, they're made down, I think it's Northfield, Minnesota. You drive right by their plant on the way through all the time.
All right. I love it.
Hostess Donuts.
Anybody,
I never had an association with Minnesota with those.
Did they make the fruit pies? Was it the Hostess fruit pies?
Yeah, Hostess fruit pies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a little white powdered sugar donuts. They're right down by the Malto Meal plant down there.
Malto Meal.
Malta, yeah. Okay, I have a buddy who works there.
All right. Dan, thanks for that, brother. I had a Hostess fruit pie situation develop once at a birthday party at a friend's house where I ate 2 Hostess fruit pies in their entirety, cherry.
Bellyache?
I ate one, and then I was like, I'm just going to go right back and get another one because no one's paying attention.
They're kind of rich.
Big mistake. Big mistake. They were great going down.
Diabetes.
Sat there.
Oh, hey, this one might take a lot of us guys back to our first awkward boner in the basement with a cousin. Twister. Twister, invented in Minnesota.
Right. Yeah.
Reynolds Geyer Agency had a game called Pretzel, which sold the idea to Milton Bradley, who renamed it Twister.
Man.
Yeah.
There's so much history in Minnesota. Speaking of the American Crystal Sugar Company, that is, of course, Ryder's father's favorite product. They are in the Sweet 16 going up against a folding bow saw from Sven Saw. Now, Ryder, you're a big fan of the folding bow saw, so this is going to pit you and your dad against each other.
That it is, yeah, because you can't get through life without a bow saw, especially one you can fold down and put in your pocket.
Man.
Hell, it's named Sven.
Sven Saw, folding bow saw or sugar, you choose. We've also got. I love the way they've matched up these products that have literally nothing to do with each other. Johnny Pop's frozen rainbow fruit stacks versus iBox, a device that tests for concussions.
All right.
No, I do understand this. I do understand the connection, because if you put too much of that Johnny Pop down your throat at once, you'll get a headache, and you'll think to yourself, "Is this a concussion or is it just the Johnny Pop talking?"
See, problems, solutions, Minnesota.
Easy Stand is a sit-to-stand device for people with physical disabilities, going up against Red Wing Shoes leather Beckman boot. We already decided that Beckman boot's kind of hard to top, really.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good looking piece of shoe right there from old Red Wing. Man, look at it. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about dropping leather on some of those right now. It's fantastic. I do think and again, as a recent transplant, you say Minnesota, I think Green Giant, I think Spam, I think Tonka. Those are my 3. And nothing against all the other worthy competitors, but that's just what comes to mind as a guy who just doesn't know much. But when I found out Nerf was from here, that's probably the most excited I got. 651-989-ROCK, talking text line. Who we got, Tony?
Colleen first, and then Larry with some good ones.
Colleen, good morning. Colleen.
That's
hello?
Larry. Yeah, either one's
Larry.
okay. Yeah.
Larry, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Larry.
Favorite band, Larry?
Springsteen.
Favorite team?
Favorite team?
Any sport?
Oh, I suppose we'll go with the Vikings.
Sure. All right. 2-0 right now. Ride that pony, brother.
Definition in my tone there. Yeah.
All right, what do you got for us?
Pillsbury Space Food Sticks.
What?
Oh, you guys don't remember those?
No.
No.
Oh, go back to the late 60s or so, or somewhere in the 60s. Yeah, they were developed here down not too far from you guys on Southeast 2nd Street, the Pillsbury Research and Development Labs.
Yeah, it's what the astronauts ate. Supposedly a little package with little like sticks of caramel chocolate,
almost,
vanilla.
almost like Tootsie Rolls, but better
Yes.
for you.
Oh,
All
they,
right.
they tasted like Play-Doh.
Wash it down with your Tang.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
I'm looking at photos right now. No bells rung. I don't remember ever seeing this product before. Fair enough. And I had an astronaut's lunchbox for crying out loud.
Should have been in there.
Oh man, what else you got, Larry?
What else have I got? In Minnesota.
Bad back?
A rash.
All right, just curious. I mean, that's a pretty good one. You stumped the panel. Space
There
food
we go.
sticks. Appreciate the call,
That's what
brother.
I'm
Thanks
here
for
for.
listening.
You got it.
Let's go to Colleen if we still have her. Colleen, are you with us?
You bet.
What's your favorite band?
Uriah Heep.
Oh.
The often underappreciated Heap coming in
You
strong.
got it. The
Fa-
original
Yeah.
heavy metal bands.
Favorite
There you go.
team? Favorite team? Any sport?
Minnesota Wild.
That'll work. All right, what do you got for us?
Old Home Foods.
Say that
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Say it
Old
again.
home.
Oh, Old
Yep.
Home. Nice.
Yep, they make cottage cheese and sour cream and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. The best
And
for...
Bermuda onion dip, insane.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Insane.
All right, adding it to the list. I appreciate it. Right.
So good.
Oh, man, we used to come Friday nights. We did some of that onion dip, man. Let me tell you something.
Just
Nobody,
dip and beer,
nobody
you know?
was gonna
Come
end up
on.
wearing their pants.
With old Dutch potato chips.
There.
Oh, you guys, stop it. I'm starving.
Colleen, thanks for the call, and thanks for reminding us that Ryder is a sucker for some onion dip.
There you go.
Did you ever have so much onion dip that you threw up behind a bar,
Probably.
maybe over in Uptown?
I think it was onion dip and lefse, maybe.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
That probably makes sense.
Whoops.
Just waiting for the proper
I have
buttons.
puked in the back alley behind the Uptown bar.
It was. I knew it was only a matter of time.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
You always hear the story like, it cost me an arm and a leg. A few years ago in New York City, the cost of an arm and a leg was put to the test. A gentleman who is, he's a 56-year-old guy in New York City drinking into a New York subway station, falls onto the tracks, drunk, stumbling drunk. And for the record, I have been stumbling drunk on a New York subway platform myself, so I'm not going to judge the guy. Because New York is one of those towns where you just get there and you put on your drinking hat. That's just what you do. You got to pack it and you bring it.
Yeah.
For the record, before I lived in Minneapolis, I said the exact same words about Minneapolis. Boy, I got to bring my drinking hat if I'm going to Minnesota. He fell onto the tracks. A train operator failed to stop in time, and it ran him over. It severed a leg and most of one arm. He survived. He filed a lawsuit. He won in court $90 million.
But he was drunk. He fell on the tracks.
The court found the train operator would have been able to stop the train if he had simply pulled the emergency brake. He chose not to. And then the train operator said, people were waving frantically, trying to get my attention. I saw something on the tracks. I just thought it was a bag of garbage. When he said those words,
Ouch,
the people from the subway authority were like, oh my God, you didn't just say that. Long story short, $90 million. An expert testified the victim's lifetime medical expenses alone would be at least 17 or 18 million, and then you add pain and suffering, et cetera, et cetera,
For
et
a
cetera.
bag of garbage?
For a bag of garbage. But so check this out. It got us to thinking, man, an arm and a leg, 90 mil.
I mean, I don't want to be insensitive to people that are dealing with missing limbs.
Not at all.
I know several, but I was thinking the same thing. 90 mil.
Good to be in
for
New
an
York
arm
City
and a leg
for that proceeding.
Certainly for an arm.
Yes.
The leg is a little trickier.
A little trickier.
Depending
But geography plays a big part in what happens. If you have a workplace accident, Zep, if I turn on your microphone and it accidentally cuts your arm off, let's just say,
okay,
we're at work, I hit the wrong button on that board, and you never know. You are in Minnesota. You would have a very different settlement if you happen to be in Wisconsin. State by state, it can be a huge difference. There's a story I just read about a gentleman in Georgia and a gentleman in Alabama. Two guys, both working in industrial plants, both lost an arm in an accident within a few months of each other. The guy in Alabama got $45,000 in workers' comp.
All right.
That's it. The guy in Georgia over lifetime will make $740,040.
If he's taunting the other one.
Because Georgia is a better place to lose a limb than Alabama. It's kind of crazy to think about that. If you need to know what happens in Minnesota if you lose an arm, the maximum compensation for one arm in Minnesota, about $114,000. Less than the national average.
No, I'm not going to do it for 114. I mean, not crazy. Like cut it off myself, but I mean, yeah, I'm not crazy about 114. How come in Wisconsin it's 201,000? What the hell? If I just go over to Hudson, if I lose an arm, Steve, here this morning,
packing it on ice and racing on 94
get my
East.
ass over to Hudson.
You got it.
That's an extra, 75,000.
That's kind of crazy. A leg in Minnesota is only going to get you 48 large. That seems low.
That's well below the national average.
Less than an arm. Whereas the leg in Wisconsin, 160,000.
All right.
We have the same amount of snow to shovel. I don't know why they're getting so much more money.
And by the way, this isn't just information I happen to have. No, that's not the case at all. There's a website where you can go put in the body part state by state, see how much it's worth. If you're curious about what you can get for a testicle, in Wisconsin, I don't have that information available. A lot of states don't post a number, but for the ones who do, well, God willing, we never have to find out.
Here in Minnesota, $3,750 for a testy. And the national average, just about 28,000. Why so cheap on the body parts, Minnesota? What the hell's going on?
You get a deal on a pair for the two testes?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you get, you'd be looking at roughly over $7,000 for the pair.
A middle finger in Minnesota, you're only going to get $9,300 for it. I mean, you're removing
more than a testy.
You're removing a huge part of our communicative skill set. Take away that middle finger, and what does that say?
I get a lot more value out of it than that every day just on the way home.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Not to mention right here at work.
Big toe in Minnesota, about $6,400.
That the big toe?
Yeah, come on, Sergeant Hulka. We need a little bit more than that.
What happened to the $90 million for the? So if I'm drunk, and then sue. We're looking at big-time millions of dollars. So I just need to get drunk and then head out to, I don't know, a MnDOT site or...
Wow, check this out.
Somewhere.
Oh, that said, I want to see what an ear is worth here in Minnesota. Not available. Ear and nose. I'm just thinking about what body parts do I have that are a little bigger than I wish they were? Should I get more? I mean, thank God I have a big head because my nose is the size of a Texas belt buckle. So, but it gets washed away a little bit with the general size of my pumpkin head. True story. Cap and gown high school graduation. I had to order a little extra. I had to wait extra to get it big enough to fit around this.
The mortar board wouldn't fit.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. But anyway, so just you might want to look at these things, figure out where you are before you file that claim. Of course, but the problem is if I race you over to Hudson, you have to get hired somewhere with that arm on ice. You got to get a job to then claim workers' comp.
I know a guy.
Okay, cool.
He'll vouch for me.
It's always good to know.
Get me up to Grantsburg. I'm probably on the payroll at the rendezvous.
It's always good to know a guy.
I know a guy.
The more guys you know, the more it's not about what you know. It's about what kind of skirt the rules, cut corners guys you know. That's what you got to know.
Connect with us on the KQ Talkin' text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
The things we do in our sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that scary?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I'm not a sleepwalker. I've gotten up and I have at times I wake up and I'm like in the bathroom. Yeah. I'm taking a leak and I don't really remember waking up, but I'm not really sleepwalking. I'm just groggy and you just go through the motions. But I've known people who truly, genuinely sleepwalk. There was a guy in my dorm who did. And I was always amazed that, like really, you're just going to come to a dorm at a school and be around a bunch of strangers and you're just going to walk up and down the halls at times and, that's cool. But as far as I know, there was never a problem. But it was, I only saw him do it once and it scared the living bejesus out of me because he was like a zombie.
Yeah.
you're looking at a Walking Dead character walking down the hallway, and it's like, what in the hell is going on? A kid that I grew up with, though, was a sleepwalker, and he did the classic right out of a right like through a plate glass door with some speed and shattered it, fell, and had 2 broken arms and just sliced his arms to bits. Sound asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I had that, and this wasn't associated with drinking, which I think we've all had the experience of waking up to a friend peeing, or maybe we've done it in the middle of the night drunk. But no, she would do that sober. You just wake up and she would be in the corner peeing, or you'd be walking to the bathroom and step in a puddle and go, boy. We used to joke around, the cat pee. We never had a cat. But she just, would wake up and then go somewhere and just sleep pee. I'm a sleep eater. I see that I'm not the only one. Robert on the KQ Facebook page, sleep eating, literally fast asleep but lips moving like I'm eating something. Oh no, Robert, I actually eat something. Last night, I woke up this morning, and this happens to me all the time. I have a bellyache. I wake up and I burp, and I'm like, what? Oh, what did I eat last night? And then there's that walk to the kitchen. All right, let's see what I ate last night. I always leave it on the counter. Last night was 2 candy bars.
And you truly don't remember it?
Nope.
No memory.
There was wrappers everywhere, some chocolate on the floor that I stepped in, apparently. I'm like a pig or something in the middle of the night, and I don't usually do it. I just get up and eat in the middle of the night.
My sis is a sleepwalker, and she has done that. She's woken up and be surrounded by candy bar wrappers in her bed. And I heard her get up one time because I knew she would sleepwalk. And she was sitting at the desk. I'm like, Flora, what are you doing? And she's going, I have to plan my party. And she had a little notebook in front of her, and she had all these scribbles. She was writing her guest list. I'm like, you can do that when you wake up in the morning. She's like, okay. Walked back to bed.
And got right back in bed.
Wow.
But you never did that.
No, I'm not a sleepwalker, but she is.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm curious if that's something that, if siblings do share, if sleepwalking's a thing like that. I had I'm trying to think in my family, I don't remember any of us being sleepwalkers. I had a really, really, really scary moment when I was babysitting. When I was probably 14 years old, the 2 little girls next door used to babysit for them. And it's a Monday night, and they're in bed. They're like 6 and 8. And the older girl, who is 8, she just walks into I'm watching TV. It's 9 p.m. I'm waiting for her parents to get home from a movie or something. And she comes in, and she's just bawling her eyes out. And she sits down, and I'm like, whoa, Sarah, what's going on? And she says, I climbed out of my window into the tree, and I fell.
Nice babysitting.
And I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah, my first thought is I'll never get another $1 per hour gig in my life because that was the rate. $1 an hour.
Sure.
And I'm like, what, you did what? And she's just weeping. And I'm like, oh my God. And right outside her bedroom window on the 2nd story of this house was a giant oak tree. And she said a couple times, I climbed out the window and I fell out of off the branch, and I'm freaking out. And then all of a sudden I look and I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not true because the front door's not open. She didn't come in from the front door. She came down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I start to put it together, and I'm like, oh, my God, she's asleep. I'm trying to talk to her, and she won't react. And what I didn't know is you don't wake up sleepwalkers.
No.
So what I did, there was a leather ottoman in the room and a tennis racket, and I took that tennis racket and I smashed it onto the leather ottoman.
Steve.
I made the loudest noise I could think of because I'm like, I better wake her. I'm thinking I have to wake her up.
Yeah.
And I smacked that thing, and boy, I really made a mistake because then she was truly traumatized and terrorized and beyond bewildered. And it took me forever to get her to stop crying. I got her back. Finally she goes back to sleep. Her parents come in. I'm like, I think Sarah was sleepwalking. I'm telling them. And they're like, oh, she's just started that. We were hoping that wouldn't happen tonight.
Feel free to mention it, Mom and Dad. To the
you want to hook a brother up with some info?
Right.
He's panicking.
What the hell? Mike on the KQ Facebook page. A friend of mine chased a mouse through the house while loudly cursing. Asleep the whole time. Asleep the whole time.
Sorry, but this one, Linda wrote, my son would get dressed for school and then go back to bed. He texted his dad's best friend in the middle of the night. Now, that's
right.
Getting dressed for school and getting back in bed, that's pretty strong. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Who we got, Tony?
Mark from Shakopee is a dreamer and a sleepwalker.
Mark, good morning, sir.
Hello.
Mark, give me your favorite band.
Yeah. What's that?
What's your favorite band?
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels. All right. Give me your favorite team. Any sport.
Wild.
Right on. What do you got for us? Tell us your story.
I've woken up. I haven't woken up, but I sleepwatched, went out, washed my truck, totally cleaned it out.
Whoa!
Didn't even know. And a couple times I've woken up with the smoke alarms going off because I've gotten up, grabbed a cigarette, and went back to bed and dropped the cigarette on my blanket.
Dang, man, that's how houses burn down, man.
Yeah, my son came down and said, "What's going on?" Smoke alarm's going off, and that's when I woke up, and yeah, I had about a 3-foot hole in my sleeping.
Dang.
Oh, that is incredible. I'm glad you're still with us, man. You're giving yourself a lot of chances to check out. Do you still do these sort of things, or is that all in the past?
No, I still do them once in a while. I've woken up last week and walked into a door, and I walked into my sliding glass door going outside.
Goodness gracious.
Put those trail cams up in your house. You know?
Really. Well, hang tight, brother. Wear bubble wrap at night or something. Good luck to you. That's scary. All right, cheers. Thank you for the call.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Hey, here's a good one from Tina. Woke up wearing muddy boots and underwear. Apparently, I went picking tomatoes in the night, left the boots on, went back to bed, bucket of tomatoes on the porch in the morning.
Oh, my gosh.
I wish I would have drove by. Is that a woman in her underwear picking tomatoes?
Hey. 651-989-ROCK on the text line. Someone wrote, I got up, put my clothes on, and then took a shower.
Oh, that's great. What do you wear for a shower?
Man.
Here's one Mike can relate to, our caller. Dale woke up with a mouthful of ashes. My sleeping wife used me as an ashtray.
Ick.
Yes, icky. Writer, ick.
So gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
Tony, are you telling me we have a caller? Is that what this signal
we did.
is?
Did
he make did he disappear?
I think someone else is trying to. Someone's trying to
All
get
right,
in here.
Cool.
Here we go on the Facebook page. My brother picked up a toolbox full of ammo, about 150 pounds. Carried it halfway across his room, dropped it on the floor, then went back to bed.
That's a big box of ammo.
That's a big box of ammo.
That's getting ready for the Armageddon there, I think, probably. Oh, Lisa woke up while my sleeping husband was taking care of me. Best sex ever.
Wow.
He doesn't even remember it.
Good for her.
Yeah.
You know what? Now, guilty as charged. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I've been told.
Yeah?
I've been told.
You got your A game when you're sleeping?
Damn straight. Yeah. Man, that's a rough one. This is like, now I'm starting to get a little. I'm really relieved. I'm going to walk around glad that I don't struggle from this. I mean, that guy Mike that called in, that's just terrifying to think.
Yeah.
I mean, for you get up and eat something.
Right.
But I wonder if you've
left
ever
the house.
But did you ever eat anything that wasn't food? Like,
No.
did you ever look in on the kitchen counter? There's a shoe with some slobber on it.
No, just
So at
always.
least it's all food.
Just always some chow. I've woken up and there's been like a jar of peanut butter or whatever, and I've got peanut butter under my fingernails when I wake up or stuff like that. I've woken up in bed with a Subway sandwich, but I'm a toss and turner, especially when I had the sleep
what the
apnea,
peanut butter under
everywhere.
the fingernails, that means it attacked you. Those are defensive. That's good DNA evidence.
For a good time.
That crunchy Jif was all over me in the middle of the night.
The dog won't make eye contact.
Hang on, I need one of those showers with the wand to get under there to really rinse all that off. Tony, who else we got on the horn
Should
right now?
be KC from Bloomington.
KC, good morning.
Good morning.
Give me your favorite band.
The Grateful Dead.
Right on. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Oh, the Wilds.
I thought you were going to say the Lithuanian men's basketball team. But
Yeah, close enough. I almost said the Canaries from Sioux Falls, Minnesota.
There you go.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah.
I've been to a
right.
Canaries game.
right on. What's your story? What's your story, Casey?
So back in grade school, my younger brother, somehow I woke up in the middle of the night, and I don't know if you guys remember back in the early 80s, they had these Sesame Street chairs, like little Cookie Monsters and, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And there was my brother over in the corner, full on whizzing in the Cookie Monster chair. So I said, Bubba, do you know where you're at? He said, yeah, in the bathroom. And he dipped up and he went back downstairs. And
sure,
I thought I was dreaming. I woke up and the next morning there was a big puddle in the Cookie Monster chair. And I asked him if he remembered, and he had no recollection.
Of course not.
No, but that always sticks with me about sleepwalking. I think that was about my only bit with it. So
yeah, well, right on. That's a good one. The Cookie Monster chair. I'll get you every time. Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, lots of peeing. Yeah, lots of peeing and lots of sex. Lots of sleeping, sex, and peeing. That's not uncommon, I guess. You don't want to confuse the two.
No, I get that's. For some people, sex always comes with a good hearty pee. So that's just whatever floats your boat. If you're a consenting adult, I'm not going to judge you.
No.
It makes me think of that show, Strangers with Candy. Remember Strangers with Candy?
Yeah.
Jerry Blank, the most insane TV character ever created. Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
And there's just one of her standard responses when somebody would be like mad at her. They'd go, "Oh, damn it, Jerry," and she would go, "Pee on me." Like when she'd be nervous, that's what would come out. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Tony, who else we got on the horn?
Lori's in a parking ramp in St. Paul.
Lori, good morning.
Good morning.
Did you sleepwalk to this parking ramp, or are you wide awake?
I'm wide awake. I'm ready to go to work.
Okay.
But I got a funny story for you.
Lay it on me.
Back in the 80s, one of my high school girlfriends had a party, and one of her friends stayed overnight, passed out on the couch down in her basement, and during the night, my girlfriend upstairs could hear some movement downstairs and thought she was sleepwalking, and woke up the next morning to a steaming pile of poo in her
welcome.
room.
And where was it?
She lived in St. Paul at the time. It was at her house.
Did you say it was in the living room?
In her work room in the basement, where she. So, yeah.
Oh, one of those good drunk poops, too.
Yeah.
It's not a firm stool.
Usually not. Usually not.
Oh, no.
Holy smokes.
Anyway, got to get to work.
Go get him, kiddo. Have a great one. How about this? Sally on the Facebook page. My husband woke me up one night with his sleep talking. I listened for a couple minutes. He was talking in German. I woke him up. He didn't remember what he had been dreaming. He claims he only knows a little German. I know a little German, and he's standing right over there. And this says he was having a full-on lively conversation with someone in German in that dream.
No kidding.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, all that German you didn't think you learned, or Spanish, or French in your case, it's in there. You just,
Oh,
it's in your brain somewhere.
All I need to get some French flowing is the right acid, as I learned once. It's amazing what
it's amazing
what you can unlock in your brain with a little LSD. All of a sudden, I'm getting out of a fight in fluent, perfect French, and everyone's looking at me going, "I didn't know you spoke French." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Dude, you just got that guy to drop that knife in French. It was a whole long story. But anyway, apparently there's some Rosetta Stone acid out there that I didn't know about until I took some. It was fantastic.
What was that?
What in the world? I went to school. Oh, this is okay. Tim on the Facebook page. I went to school without my pants. All the kids on the bus laughed at me.
Oh, yeah.
I got off the bus at school with shame and a wet shirt. When my foot hit the ground, I woke up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That'll trigger. Just even saying that, reading it out loud, I'm like, oh, I know her. I've had that dream a million times. The pantless. I always have a shirt on. It's the pants, when in those dreams when it comes up.
Yeah, Betty got hit in the stomach by her husband. He was fighting rabbits. She had to wake him up.
So he hit rabbits in the stomach?
I guess so. That's a good gut punch to a rabbit.
It was a Monty Python rabbit with great fangs.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.
Hey, it's Ryder from the KQ Morning Show. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. Thanks for using the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast to get through your holiday season. Sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. New episodes fire up Monday, January 6th.